Hey Darren, welcome to the 2019 OEC golf event. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that play through a few times, put you back in your dress position, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you back in your setup, let's first of all take a look at your posture. Spine is nice and straight, not a slight tilt. Legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. Arms hang down nice and naturally in front of you. Club works out to the ball. So you're achieving really good posture here, also in association with really good balance as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at your alignment. We can see your feet running in this direction. Carry that out towards the fairway, and theoretically your club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet, and parallel lines on camera will have an appearance of converging. So we're set up pretty much down the left center of the fairway. So that looks really, really good. Let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison here between you and Jordan Spieth. We'll flip them over to left-handed to match you. Now, as we initiate our takeaway, we want to create good shoulder rotation. Draw the arms and hands back as well as the golf club. And we can see the club coming back directly on the red line. So the club's coming back on proper swing plane. Right around here, what we're going to do is we're going to start to establish some good wrist hinge into play, where we're going to transition the club head from below to above our hands. And now we're going to work the club from red up to yellow or blue. When we finally set the club at the top of the backswing, the right arm on the club can get situated on the yellow line or the blue line, or anywhere within that blue-yellow V zone. So we can see with Jordan Spieth, he sets his right arm in the club on that blue line at the top of the backswing, full shoulder rotation, and does that about a very stable left leg. Let's go ahead and watch initiate your takeaway. We see that you draw your hands back very nicely, but they go too far inside, which brings the golf club a little too far inside of swing plane. As we continue to move back here, we want to see continued shoulder rotation, get some wrist hinge into play, which you do, and we see that you're still very, very shallow position. As we continue to complete that backswing, let's see where you finally set everything, and we can see that when you finally get to the top of the backswing, we can see that you've got great shoulder rotation, stable left side. You've rotated off the posture axis that you achieved at address. Your arm geometry looks great relative to your core. Your club's in great position relative to your arms. You do set your arm plane a little bit shallow. Just means the right arm's underneath the yellow line. As we create our transition back into the ball, simply want to move our weight from our left foot to our right foot. Fire our knees and our hips to the target with lateral motion, moving our weight to our right side. Unwind our core and fire our hands. And in doing so, we want to make sure we're bringing the golf club from blue, in Jordan's case, back down on top of red, which is where the club originated. And that's exactly what we see here with Jordan Spieth. The golf club is returned back to plane. The other thing we want to observe at this stage of the golf swing is the relationship between the lead forearm and the golf club. I refer to this as the backwards check mark. Simply means the club head right now is remaining above and behind his hands coming into the hitting zone, and this is what's going to allow us to create a lot of power in the golf swing, let alone the ability to hit the ball straight, as we've already duly noted that the club returned back to plane. Let's go ahead and watch transition back into the ball. Now you make a little over the top move there, but you can afford it because you're set in a bit of a shallow position, as we've already discussed. As we continue to come in, dropping the hands and arms nicely, feet and knees are working. At this point in time, we can take a look at your lead forearm and your golf club and basically say, hey, you know what, we've got our backwards check mark, so creating some power in the golf swing won't be an issue. The other great thing is the golf club has returned to plane. Unfortunately, that little over the top move is causing the club to still move out in front, so you are going to be attacking the ball a little bit from outside to inside. So if we go to the next frame here, we can see the club falls further out in front right there. Okay, so the club is no longer on plane. So your club coming into the ball from this vantage point was moving into the golf ball as such. It should be moving into the golf ball directly from on plane, like we see with Jordan Spieth here. And like I said, this is ultimately what allows us to hit a straight golf shot in accordance to our alignment, assuming that lastly the club face squares up via having a good grip. So the three things we need to be consistent and hit a ball straight are: we have to aim well, we have to bring the club down on plane to hit the ball where we're aimed, and then the club face has to square up to also hit that ball in that direction. At this point in time, we can take a look at the pass of the club, knowing that you came over the top, and we can see that Jordan's golf club is slightly inside the ball with his shoulders quite square. The club expands out to the golf ball and moves through on a nice natural subtle arc. Okay, now his shoulders start to get a little bit open. Your shoulders are already wide open at impact, which obviously indicates that you're going to be swinging in that direction. We can also see the club is stuck outside the ball, then drops down and across to make contact. So your club is swinging on the exact same path that your shoulders are in at impact. Therefore, if we square the club face up to that path, you'll hit the ball solid. The problem is the ball is going to go way over here in this direction. Also, if you over-release the club, not only will you pull the ball, but you would hit some form of pull draw or pull hook. If we leave that club face open, which is probably what your subconscious brain is going to want to do, what will happen is you'll end up hitting the ball just a little bit left of that, and because the face was open to the yellow path, you'll be imparting some right to left spin, and you'll be able to hit a nice soft fade, and the shot will turn out. And that's probably the tendency, or what you try to do to allow you to compensate for that out to in path. If you happen to leave the club face too open, you start the ball maybe a little bit further left, but then it has too much right to left spin, and now the ball becomes a little bit more of a pull slice or a block slice. So the end result of your golf shot is solely dictated based on the timing of the club face. Because the club is attacking the ball from the outside and moving to the inside, if we happen to square the club face up to the path, it follows the yellow arrows. If we leave the club face wide open to the path, it follows the blue arrows. And if we time it properly, it'll follow red. The other thing we want to pay attention to through impact here is that Jordan's left heel's off the ground, and as he moves through, that left heel is going to continue to come up off the ground, up on the toe of his left foot. That's going to allow him to distribute all his weight on his right side, get his hips square, and now his shoulders can fully rotate, and his club can get in behind him with his hands nice and high. We can see with you, your foot is flat on the ground. Let's see if you carry through with any footwork. Actually, you step out of your golf shot with your right foot, so that right foot should stay in the same spot, and then you should be coming up off your left heel onto your toe, but you actually take a step with your right foot, and then when you finish, you never create any footwork with that back foot. So definitely one of the things you want to do in your golf swing here, very, very simple. Just learn how to create proper footwork through to the finish. You know, bring those hands back, fire through, and keep that right foot planted on the way through. Get up off the left heel onto the left toe, and that'll aesthetically make your golf swing look a lot better, a lot more efficient, a lot more natural. And it's really not a difficult move to achieve. At that point in time, like I said, your setup's really good. Your backswing's pretty strong. It does get set a little bit shallow at the top, but nothing that's that much of an issue. The bigger problem here is that you send your hands over the top, and you end up attacking the ball from outside to inside. So that move right there over the top, you're getting the club stuck to the outside. The path is coming from out to in. You can see in this particular case, club face squares up, the ball definitely takes off towards that bunker. And if, again, the club face releases, it'll go right. Under releases, it'll move back left. So if we want to hit a ball straight and be consistent, we have to aim well, we have to bring the club down on plane, and we have to square the face up. And this downswing plane right here, this pre-impact position, that backwards check mark, is really the number one dynamic issue in a golf swing that we have to achieve to hit really, really good golf shots. Okay? Anyways, at any point in time you ever want to work on any of these aspects, I'm over at Glen Abbey in Oakville, obviously where the event was held. Be happy to structure a program for you. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments, looking for a unique gift to provide to your guests, touch base and be happy to discuss my swing analysis services with you. Anyways, take care and enjoy the rest of the fall here.